and welcome back to the Canal Town Stitcher. I'm Kim, and I know it's been a while since I did a Flosstube, but I wanted to make sure that those that have subscribed, the few that there are, know that I'm still around. February and March were really busy months for us. For those of you that don't know, I am the Canal Town Stitcher. I live in Palmyra, New York. And I am a third grade teacher, but I am also the mom of 4 kids, 3 of them teenagers and 1 of them still a little button at 10 years old. But the last 2 months have just flown by in a blur, and I just have not had a quiet house to vlog in. So I apologize for the amount of time that has passed since I have produced a video, but I wanted to get on today and show you everything that I have been working on and all of the things that I am excited about. So it is currently raining. It's a little dreary here. My son and his dad are on their way right now to Syracuse to get my son's first Pfizer vaccine. He's 16. He's pretty excited about it. He's been pretty worried about COVID since the start. So they are on their way doing that. My 15-year-old spent the night at a friend's house that, for those of you that might be worried, are also concerned about making sure that they are doing the right thing with masks and social distancing. We have really been very good about making sure that our kids are going to places that we trust. And then my 13-year-old and my 10-year-old are still sleeping because it's pretty early on a Sunday morning for them. So I have my coffee. I have, I think, everything that I want to show and share with you today. I'm not really sure how long this video will be. I'm hoping I won't have to edit it at all. So I am a paparazzi sales consultant as well. I haven't done much with my jewelry business lately, but I am I'm very good with my camera. I'm very good with being on camera, so hopefully I won't have to edit anything, you know, aside from maybe an occasional dog barking that might occur if they see somebody go by. But we live on 19 acres, so the only thing that they usually bark at are like squirrels and animals. So anyways, back to stitching. So it has been a very, very, very good couple of months. I have thought about doing Whip Go. I have not done Whip Go. I am on the Facebook page, so I see everybody else's Whip Go, and I think that it's super cool and fun, but I just don't know if I have the commitment time to commit to just 2 projects. And I don't know if I really want to. I mean, I know you can do more than just 2, but like in thinking about it, I'm like still not sure that that's going to be right for me. But I am going to do Mania. I have kitted up 2 or 3 that I'm excited to start in May. One is a stitching with the Housewives, and then I have another kitted up that's the Cottage Garden, because I'm part of that club through Crazy Annie Stitching. I am not in a lot of clubs. I'm not in a lot of clubs not because I don't want to be a part of a lot of clubs. I would love to, but I'm trying to think of my time and how much energy I have, and I don't want to have too much supply and not enough time. I'd like to have kind of like a good balance going. Plus my husband is afraid that I might become a craft hoarder, so I have to be careful with that. As you can see in the background, I have a Cricut, I crochet, I quilt, I cross stitch, I do a lot of things. I write, I mean, I'm a very creative person, so I have the tendency to want lots of crafts, but I actually I'm trying to be pretty good about making sure that I have a good balance between my craft supply and what I'm actually going to create or do. So, all right, so let's get on to the stitching. So as far as finishes go, I don't have any since my last video, but that's because I've been working on a lot of bigger projects, so I'm really thrilled with some of the progress I've made on some big projects, And I will be starting in May. I am going to be starting Brooks Publishing's Animal Advent Calendar. So hopefully I'll have a lot more finishes coming up then as I go through. But right now I just have just the whips I've been working on. I have some kits that I'm going to share with you today. And then I have some haul that I received like a month ago, but I can show you some of it. And then I have some decisions to make, so I'm hoping that maybe you guys can help me make some of those choices. They're fabric choices, and I'm trying to decide what fabric I want to do the Advent calendar animals on. I don't really care for the blue, the light blue that they're stitched on in the pattern, but I don't know if I really want them to be on brown, because most of my current stitching is on a neutral color, so I'm trying to decide which I think would be best, and I'm having trouble. Plus, I also have another piece that I'm going to be working on, and I have that kitted up and ready. I'm not sure about the fabric choice for that one either. I mean, I love the fabric, and I think it's going to look fantastic, but maybe I just need a little advice from you guys. We'll see. All right, so let's get started on some of my whips. All right, so I work on 3 for the most part, all of the time. I still have all the whips that I showed you back in January, but the ones that I work on the most are here. So let me just show you my progress on this one. All right. So this whip came out of the Ornament, must be in here. It came out of the Ornament magazine it's right here, for 2020, just cross stitch. So here's the just cross stitch ornament, and I am doing, let me just get it. Oh, I can't believe I wasn't ready. Like, here I am saying, oh, I'm just so ready. I'm good with the camera. I am doing Vintage Angel. It's by the Tiny Modernist, and I have to cover this because it shows the chart on the same page. I have a folder right here though that I can also cover. All right, so it looks like this. Isn't she beautiful? I love this. I'm doing this for my niece. And I think back in January when I first showed this, I had like most of this part done, but I've started working down here a little bit. So she is still in her hoop. I apologize for that, but here she is. This is on 28 count linen that I got from Charles Craft linen that I got from Michael's, that I hated at first. I tried using this at first with a different project, and I thought, I'm never going to like linen. I'm going to hate it. But I actually love this, and I actually purchased more because I love it so much. But I needed to hoop it. So when I was trying to stitch in hand, I couldn't do it. But when I put it in a hoop, I was able to do it. So there she is. As you can see, I have all of her wings done, all of her face. I just have to do her little eyes. And then I'm working now on the skirt. I'm hoping to be done with this by the end of May. That would be my hope. This is going to be a Christmas present for my niece. I have another niece, her sister, that I'm also going to be stitching a Christmas ornament for. So I'd like to get her started sometime in May so that I have them both done in time for Christmas, all fully finished. But this is the Angel and Vintage Angel, and I love her. She's coming out so well. Okay. The next piece, I do not have a cover page for either, but this is Hello Pumpkin. And the reason I don't have a cover page is because I bought the PDF and I didn't print the cover. So I was trying to save a little bit on ink. I don't really know why, because I have the HP ink like supply. It comes in automatically, but for some reason I was like, I don't want to print all that, so I didn't. So those of you that are not familiar with Caterpillar Cross Stitch and her Hello series, she has Hello Deer, which was a Christmas one, Hello Pumpkin, this is a fall one, and I think I saw one for Hello Petal maybe, which might be a spring one. But basically it's a tree, and I love the motifs. So I'm having so much fun with this one. I actually started this last week during my spring break on Wednesday, the 31st, okay? And I've pretty much been working on this nonstop since then. So here is my progress on this one. Again, still in the hoop because I was working on this last night. So I am loving this. This has been such a fun stitch. I've been just having so much fun with it. So I have almost the full corner done. Almost this whole full corner. I'm working on the hedgehog now, which I could not wait to get to. I did the fox first, and then I kind of went up and around, and I could not wait to get to this hedgehog because I just think he's so darn cute. I just love him. Love this whole thing. So it's awesome. And I, again, am stitching in hoop. This is 28 count smoky. I have to look it up. I'll look it up and let you know because I have it on order because I'm going to do Hello Deer in the same one. It's a 28 count. I got it from 123 Stitch. I think it's like smoky, something smoke white, maybe. I don't know. But it is really pretty linen. I switched to linen. Excuse me. Excuse me. I stitch on even weave and linen, and I switched to linen in January for the most part. So I'm pretty much only ordering linen now. But I do like even weave too. So we'll see. But this one, you're going to see a ton of progress on this one through the next couple of weeks because I love it so much. I'm so like every motif is so fun to stitch, and I just feel like even if I get just 3 motifs done in a day, I feel like I've accomplished something. So that is amazing. All right, next one I'm going to show you is strange. Oh, it's right here. It's hiding. So this is Hands-On Design. This is Let's Talk Autumn. This is a project bag I made. So it's not perfect, but I hope over the summer I'll have time to make a lot more. My husband told me with the amount of fabric I have, I should open an Etsy shop. We'll see. Knowing me and my paparazzi business and my family, and maybe I might teach summer school. That might not happen, but he says he thinks I'm good enough. So here's the pattern. And this, I decided to do this very differently. All right, and you're going to see that in just a second. So this is on Vintage Country Mocha. It is 25 count. And I wanted 25 count because I wanted the piece to be bigger. Because my husband had noticed a sign outside of a craft store a couple of, like maybe September, October-ish. And he was like, I really like that sign, but the sign was like $65. And so I said, well, I think that there's a cross-stitch pattern that I can do, and it'll be much cheaper, and we can have that hanging up in our, dining room when people come in. So that's why this is on such a big fabric. I made a mistake, so I'm going to have to do some frogging. Luckily, it's not that much, but it was enough that I had to pull out a leaf, and I still have some lettering to pull out, but I'll show you what it looks like so far. So here I am. Again, I love this on the Vintage Country Mocha. I'm so happy with my choice in fabric because I did not want it on black. I know it's supposed to be like a chalkboard, but I was like, I just wanted it to look like fall. So I made a mistake here. So you can't, I don't know if you can tell, but there's only one space between the letters, and between N and I. Between N and I put 2 spaces. Naughty Kim. So I'm going to have to take these 2 out and then realign it so that the leaf that goes right here, because there's a leaf right here, fits the right way. Because right now with the stem, it's kind of going into the coffee mug or the hot cocoa mug, and I didn't like that. So I had to take the leaf out because I had it already stitched. I had to take that out. And I'm going to fix these 2 letters and then I'll put it back in. But isn't it so great? It's coming out so amazing. I am so very happy with it. So this will be one of my main focuses because I definitely want this done before fall this year. So I stitch on Thursdays for the most part. I used to stitch every night, but I just, with my kids' schedule right now, we have Scouts Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday night is an open night, but I tend to do our biggest cooking meal of the week. I do 90% of our meals I cook from scratch. So on Wednesdays, because I know I have more time, that's when I'll make something that's a little bit more elaborate than like burgers and a side or whatever. So yeah. Thursdays I stitch when my daughter is riding her horse because I get there at 4 o'clock and then she doesn't come out until almost 6. And sometimes I'll go in and watch her, but in the wintertime I won't because there's no heat in the barn. And because of COVID, they really want us to be social distanced. And so there's not a lot of like warmth. So now that the weather's getting nicer, she's asking me to come back in. And she's my 13-year-old, so I like to go in and I do like watching her. So I might not get as much done on Thursdays as I was during the wintertime, but hopefully. And we might be picking up another lesson if we can. So this one, this was my New Year, New Start. I love this pattern. And when I first saw it, I had to have it, and I knew it was going to be my New Year, New Start. I went and I got 32 count even weave. I cannot remember the color. I think I said what the color was in the last. Azure. It's Azure. A-Z-U-R-E. Azure. It's blue. And so we are doing Quaker Snowflakes by Hello from Liz Matthews, and I am doing, let me take it out of this glossy bag because it's a little bit too shiny. And I am stitching it on the blue for the blue one. Still a little shiny, but a little less so. So I'm doing this one. And all the called for silks, which, by the way, I did not realize how expensive they were. So I have been stitching for like 30 years. I'm 42. For those of you who, need to know how old I am, I'm 42. So I've been stitching since I was about 10, 11, 12. Like, I think I did my first cross stitch when I was around 10, but it was really small. And I've been doing larger cross stitches ever since. Like, some of the ones in the beginning of my video that you'll see are ones that I did when I was like 19, 20. So that gives you that range. I had my first baby when I was 26, and I stitched on and off very, very, very little for about 10 years. So until I was about 36. Then I stitched a piece for one of my nieces, and that was the only cross stitch that I had done until 2020 when I was almost 42. So I'll be 43 this year. I was 41. I don't mind telling my age, obviously. And my oldest was 15. Okay, so that gives you an idea of how long I was away from stitching when I came across Priscilla and Chelsea's Flosstube channel in 2020 and realized that I was really missing out on a hobby that I had always loved. And it has changed so much, you guys, in 30 years. Like, I had, the first year I went to college, I had gone out and I bought every single DMC color that I could get. At least one skein. Most of them I bought two. And I had a DMC collection. I still have it. I have 8 bins of DMC floss, all bobbined, pretty much from the time I was 19 years old. So I didn't know that there were silks and fancy flosses and all these different things, all these different fabrics, hand-dyed fabrics. Like, I was stitching on 14 count Aida. The first linen piece that I stitched on was the lighthouse I did for my husband. I made that when I was 21 years old. And that was on 28 count linen, but you could only get it in like antique white. Like, I didn't realize that there was all this like color choices and everything. So like 2020 opened my eyes to like, Kim, you are missing out. And I really was. So when I saw this, I actually saw this when she did a Flosstube where she introduced it, and I was like, okay, I have to have this. So I went to my local Needleworks shop, which I live in upstate New York, so I live by Hobby House Needleworks. That's my local LNS. And I said, I want to do this. Find me a fabric. And so they went searching through and they found me this fabric, and I bought all of my silks from there. And then the first time that I went to stitch it, I had so much trouble because I'd never stitched on anything less than 28 count. And so this is much smaller than that. So, I mean, I'd stitched on 22 count Aida. I'd stitched on 18 count Aida. I had stitched on 16 count Aida, but I had never stitched on an even weave or a linen that was less than a 28 count. And I couldn't see it. I could not see the squares. And it took a good 3 weeks of working on this before it finally clicked and I was able to see them. But again, I had to hoop it. So, we're coming into a trend here. So, I can stitch in hand if I'm stitching on 25 count. I can stitch in hand if I'm stitching on 28 count, if it's a small and it's an even weave. But if it's a linen or anything like 32, I stitched on 36 count linen this year, it has to be hooped. I just cannot see it otherwise. And I'm not ashamed of that. I'm just not. All right, so here it is. Here is my progress on Quaker Snowflakes. I love it. Now, this motif right here, it looks a little strange, and I'm going to tell you why. It's a little off color. It's a little bit off color. The reason why is because this was the first motif I did when I started this project, and I had to tear it out at least 4 times. That's how much trouble I had. But then once I got it in, then everything else just clicked. So now it's going so much faster. It's so much better, so much prettier. These 2 triangles I know are up higher than the rest. I don't care. I'm going to leave that. I am not going to tear that out for those 2 little that are up 1 row too high. I'm just not. But look at how pretty it is. Oh my gosh, I love it. Love it. I've put this down, obviously, for a couple of weeks because I've been working on the Hello pumpkin. But I will be coming back to this. This will be done before Christmas and framed. I think I'm going to do a white frame like Liz has here, like a whiter frame. And then, of course, I get this far. I'm showing it to my husband, right? I get this far. I'm like, oh, look at how much work I've done. And doesn't he say, oh, I really like this one better? Stinker. He's stuck with it now. I don't really care. Whatever. So there's Quaker Snowflakes. Love, love. Okay. So I have a couple of others that I have been working on. This one I'm not too far on, but I will show it to you since I've done some work on it since January when I showed it last. So this is Gingham Greetings 2. I already did Gingham Greetings 1, finished it, and showed that in the last video. So here is the pattern right here. And you're going to see I'm not super far on it. But I have made a little progress. I kind of got out of my Christmas stitching. But here it is. So it's looking good. This is on 25 count black Lugana. The other one is on, is this 22 or 28? No, this is 25. Sorry. It is 25 count. This I can stitch in hand, so it does not need a hoop, but a little bit of progress. This is going to be part of my Christmas in July, I think, so it will definitely be done before Christmas. I did the other one in gingerbread, like on a gingerbread, and I love that. So, I don't know. We'll see. I love these trucks. That's what gets me is the trucks. So I'm like, ooh, I like that truck. All right, next one that I have worked on is It's the Most Wonderful Feast of the Year. This is by Sue Hillis Designs. I love this. And this is on a 32 count. I can't remember the name of it. It was a scrap piece of fabric that I got from the Needleworks shop. So it was a scrap, so I don't really know. But this is my progress. I got the It's done. I'm working on the first feather in the Chiefs. Come on here. Right here. So, yeah. I love this. It's coming out so well. Again, it's hooped. I'm not ashamed. It will fit on this fabric, believe it or not. So it's worth looking at the scraps because you never know. If you use the calculator on 1, 2, 3 stitch, it tells you exactly how much you'll need. Now I know it's kind of close. It's a little closer to the top than I would have wanted to, but I'm going to frame it. So I'm not worried about having enough to like bend over. I'm going to frame it out. So I think I'll have plenty of space when I frame it. And I'm going to do the framing myself, so I think I'll have a little bit more wiggle room with it because of that. But I love it. It's going to be great. Hopefully I will have it done by Thanksgiving, but because of the way that I'm working on other projects, I'm not sure if it'll be this Thanksgiving or next, but I think when it gets closer to the season, I might be like more like wanting to work on it. But I did get some progress in, so I'm happy with that. All right, so I think that is it. That's all I've really worked on since January. So yay, that's all of my whips. So now let's talk about some of my hauls. So most of what I've gotten is fabric. Because like I said, I haven't really needed floss or anything like that. I have been purchasing fancy floss for things like the stitching with the Housewives pieces and a lot of my Cottage Needleworks. I have been buying the called for flosses because I have most of the DMCs. So I only need like 2 or 3 fancy flosses, so it doesn't bother me to like purchase those. All right, so let me pull out what I have for my haul. So, like I said, I hit up my my local needlework shop for their scrap bin because they had a ton. And I can also show you what I have received so far from the Cottage Garden. From the Cottage Garden. These are kitted, so I'm not going to show you what's kitted until I get to the kitted part, but some of that will be part of my haul as well. Yeah, I'll show you that later. All right, so I have this box. It's a shoe box. It has some stuff in it that I received, and so I'll show you these first, and then I'll show you the fabrics. Okay, so the first Cottage Garden samplings that I received is It's Snow Time, and so it's this pattern, which I love, because for those of you who haven't watched my first Flosstube 1, which you can go back and watch it, but if you haven't, my mother passed away in 2009, 1 month before my daughter's first birthday. And we live in the woods, and I see cardinals all the time, so I know my mom is near. I'm obsessed with cardinals. I will stitch cardinals all day long. So every time I see one, I'm like, that's Mom. She's close by. And so I love this chart. There's 2 cardinals on it, so of course I'm going to stitch it. And I made a change. So I ordered this with 32 count vintage country mocha, and instead I am going to stitch it on 32 count platinum Lugana. So I'm going to stitch it on this. So it's still 32 count, it's still an even weave, but I think this is going to look fantastic on this platinum fabric, so I switched it out. I'm going to use the Vintage Country Mocha for something because I love Vintage Country Mocha, but I felt like for this pattern, the platinum was going to be a better choice. So that is what I did. And this was part of my haul from 123 Stitch. I got this and like 10 others. And then I ordered more this week. So I will have more coming. And I'm ordering, guys, just to let you know, I know that this is kind of like, ooh, all these tangents, she must have ADD. But I just thought of this. But Everything Cross Stitch has all of their Country Cottage needlework patterns on sale, 15% off. So hop on over there if you would like some Country Cottage, because I'm ordering like 10 patterns easily. So hop on over there. It's all month long. It's going to be on sale. So all right. So the second one I got from them is Love is in the Air. This was their February one. 2 beautiful doves. Love, love it. I do plan to stitch all of these, by the way. Not this year, probably, but I do plan to stitch them all. And this is 28 count mushroom. Oh, no. This is 28 count lamb's wool Jobelin even weave. I got from 123 Stitch, and this is what I'm going to stitch that on. One of the great things about ordering fabric from 123 Stitch and from my local needlework shop, Hobby House Needleworks, has a fantastic online business. Please, please, please support them. They are a small business. They opened during the pandemic. They were supposed to open in like May or June of last year. They didn't end up opening until October. If you're familiar with our area, they're located in Pittsburgh, New York, which is not an inexpensive place to have a business. It's actually a very expensive place to have a business. So please support them. Hobby House Needleworks, they are in Pittsburgh. They also serge all of their fabric. So I'm a big fan of the places that serge their fabric, because I noticed that there's a couple of places, and actually I was a little surprised about a couple of places that you can order from online that do not serge their fabric, which I think is a nice touch. I think it really is, because it saves you from having to use tape or having to try to serge it yourself or whatever you do to make sure that it doesn't fray, but I love that. So this is going to be on the Jobelin, and I'm excited about that. I had heard about the Jobelin from Sammy Liz. I actually love her, so if you have not had a chance to watch her Flosstubes, she's one of my favorites. I feel like she's the most like me. She's just a lot younger than I am. So hi, Sammy Liz, I watch you. I hope that doesn't sound creepy, but she said that she loved the Jobelin, so I wanted to try it too. So that will be my first piece that I will be using the Jobelin on, but I did order more Jobelin because I like the shade of the color, and so I ordered more of it. All right, so those were the only 2 patterns that I got that I have not kitted yet. Everything else is kitted, so when I get to my kits, I'll show you those. So this is 28 count amber toasted almond linen. This is a 9 by 13 piece. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on this, but I know that I love it and the color, so I will find something to stitch on this one. It's a little bit stiffer than I was thinking it was going to be, but that's okay. These are the 2 32 count vintage country mochas I got with the Cottage Garden samplings, because I'm part of that, and I do buy the fabric because it's so inexpensive. I think it's like $9 for your fabric, so I think even if I don't use that, even if I don't use this fabric for those pieces, at least I'll have it. I mean, it's vintage country mocha. I'll use it for something. All right, so these are chalkboard. These are both 28 count chalkboard black. These are 9 by 13, right? 9 by 13. So I have 2 of these. The only thing with these is that you can see through it. Like you can see my pink shirt through these. So I wasn't sure about it. But, you know, stitching with the Housewives, I'm going to be starting a couple of projects. I don't think this is big enough for the project that I'm going to start. And I'll show you that because it's kitted. But I'm not sure I'm going to keep the fabric that I'm using for that either. So that's going to be one of those questions I'm going to ask you guys to help me with. All right. This is a small cut fabric. It is 28 count Zweigert cream. This is 8 by 31. Now, this was only $6.99, guys. Go to that little basket and see what you can find for $6.99. Look at this great piece of fabric. I mean, I could use this for so many things. So this is like, it's so pretty. It's linen. It's a really gorgeous color, and it's huge. So you should always go and check out those little cuts, those little baskets, because I'm telling you, you might find a real prize in there. So, what do you guys think? Think about the Brooks books. Publishings. Brooks Publishings, whatever. Advent calendar. Do we think cream? I'm not so sure. We'll have to keep looking. See, these are my problems. All right, so here is a piece of 28 count Legacy from Picture This Plus. This is an 8 by 18 piece. And it was $8. Look at the variegation. I have no idea what I'm ever going to stitch on this. I'll find something. But it is so cool. It's kind of got a greenish, like the Legacy is like a green. I don't know if you can see that or not in my lighting. I just am using natural light today because it's just coming in so perfectly. So pretty. So I bought that. Again, I bought all of this back in January. My husband let me loose in the Needleworks shop, and then he went to run a different errand. So I was actually at the Needleworks shop for 45 minutes, and he wasn't there. And I spent $150. He knows that, though. All right. Next, I have these beautiful little pieces. So this one is a 36 count, and I just bought this to try it. because 32 count seemed intimidating to me. So to jump to 36 count, I was like not so sure. So I have this little swatch. It's very small, as you can see. I'm not sure what I could stitch on it, but it was only $4.99. It's 36 count American froth linen, and so I can try to stitch on 36 and see if I like it. This I think is going to go to a summer project. I don't know, because we camp and I stitch outdoors a lot, and I feel like the natural light might be easier for me to see, but we'll see about that. So this one is 28 count dwarf linen by Picture This Plus. This is a 10 by 7 piece. I got this for $3.99. Look at it's so little. But I know that there's going to be something that I'm going to be able to stitch on this. Isn't it beautiful? This is dwarf linen from Picture This Plus. It's so pretty. $3.99 I paid for this. So if you have a needlework shop and they do scraps, you should definitely check them out. Okay, and then this piece is 30 count Mariner's Map linen. This was only $5. It is 7.5 by 17.5. So again, it's a nice size piece. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but it's something. I could do ornament with it, a couple ornaments with it. It's small. So it's 30 count linen. I'm sure I'm going to love it. So there's those. I have more. Oh, you're going to be like him. Oh my goodness. I thought you said you wanted to keep your stash small. I do. All right. All right, so that's it for that. Then, oh, oops, I forgot these. These were also part of my purchase from that day when I was left alone in the needlework shop. So I am in love with Cottage or Country Cottage Needleworks. And they have like the Santa's Village and the Snow Village and all of those, but excuse me, I thought for us, because we live on 19 acres in the middle of Palmyra, that I would like to do the Frosty Forest first before I do those other ones. So I chose those. So I got two of those patterns that day. So I got this one, which is the little foxes. And there's a reason why I chose the foxes first. So I teach in a neighboring district, and our mascot is a fox. And so I have been in love with foxes ever since, obviously. Hello Pumpkin has a huge red fox on it. I love it. So I knew that this one had to be one of the first ones that I did. So I bought this pattern. And then I also got the Frosty Forest title pattern. So I also got this one. So I got these two, just to get me started. But I can tell you, my everything cross stitch order includes the rest of these, because they're only $5 a piece for the rest of them. So yeah. All right, and then I bought this one because this is, I had fallen in love with this. I think it was maybe Georgia Girl Stitches who was doing some of these. I had seen this somewhere. This one is Peace on Earth. It's by Cottage Garden Samplers, and I bought this that day that I was left alone in the needlework shop. Obviously, there's a cardinal, so we can see a theme here. Kim likes cardinals. So I love this. I am so in love with this. I'm going to start this soon. This one is supposed to be stitched on Dove linen from Weeks Dye Works. I might actually look for it in a 32 count. I don't think I'm ready for the 36 count, which is what it's stitched on. But I definitely think I could do it on a 32 count. So I think I'll be looking for this fabric soon, so I can get that started, because I would like to do it on the fabric that it's called for. And I'll probably get the called for fancy flosses, which are like the Gentle Arts. fancy flosses. Okay, so that's all of my haul. Okay, so let's talk about what I got kitted. Oh. So I fell in love with this when I saw it on Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch. So obviously I'm a Flosstube watcher. I have several that I watch regularly. And I fell in love with it, and I knew I needed to stitch it. And so I'm 95% sure I'm going to stitch it on the fabric that I chose. But if you think I should go different with a different color, let me know. Or give me a thumbs up if you think that I chose the right color, because I really think I did. All right, so this is Fa La La. It is by Madame Chantily. And I just love it. It's so cute. Look at these little mice. Love, love, love. So adorable. So this, I have all kitted up, so it's ready to go, so I can start it whenever I want. And I chose to do it on this 28 count green sapphire casual linen. I don't know if you can tell how, this is such a pretty soft green. Maybe if I open it, you'll be able to see it a little bit better. Or have it farther away, but it's like a soft green. And I'm pretty sure that this is what I'm going to stitch it on. So I have this all ready to go with the called for DMCs. And I am going to stitch this, and I am so excited about it. I can't even tell you. So if you think that this is the right color, I'm 95% sure that it is the right color. I think it's going to be fantastic with the little mice. Oh, there we go. Now it's kind of easier to see that green. I shelter it a little bit. I just think it's going to be so cute. I can't wait to do this. All right. Oh no, all of my floss just fell out of my little bag, but I have yet to do a project bag for this project, clearly. That's okay though. Remember where I can reach them. All right, the next piece that I have kitted up and ready to go is by Stitching with the Housewives, and I'm going to do this in the DMCs and not in the fancy floss just because I'm trying to save myself some money. But this is Long May She Wave. Obviously, I bought the PDF version when they had a 20% off sale in January, and I bought a whole bunch of these right from them on their Etsy shop. So, Long May She Wave. I am going to do on 28 count black Lugana. Oh no, this is 25 count. No, I decided I was not going to do it on the 25 count. This, I'm going to switch. So stay tuned because I don't want it to be on 25 count. But it's all kitted up. I have all of the DMC floss for it. And this I'm going to start in May. I ordered fabric for that. I ordered it from 123 Stitch, so it should be in the next week. It's a 28 count that I ordered. Black even weave for that one. Because I didn't want to stitch it on the 25 count because I felt like it was going to be too big. Alright, the next one that I have all kitted up and ready to go is Cottage Needleworks Afternoon in New York. I actually started this, but it's not much of a start, so I didn't share it with my whips. So here it is. Those of you that may not know, I stitched Afternoon in Paris for my daughter for Christmas. This is going to be for her birthday. So, yep, she is that girl, that chicky girl. I'm stitching this on 25 count Stormy Night, and the reason why is because I stitched her Afternoon in Paris on 25 count Stormy Night. So I wanted them to be the same. And so here is like my tiny little start. This is why I didn't show it as a whip, because it's really just 2 clouds. Hopefully next week I will have some more done on this, because it is on my list of things to work on this week because her birthday's in July. So I want to make sure that I have this done. It's quite a bit of work, and I want to make sure that I have plenty of time to finish it. But yes. Her Afternoon in Paris came out so good. I went out to Goodwill. I found this frame. It was originally from Target, I think. And yeah, I turned it into her piece, her Paris piece. So this one will be her New York piece. And we'll see. I might do the afternoon in London too for her. But I definitely know I won't do the one for Rome because she's just not into that. Okay, next one that I have ready to go is Country Cottage Needleworks Countdown to Christmas. I'm going to stitch this on a mushroom. Let me pull it out. So here it is. Countdown to Christmas. I'm going to use all the called for DMCs. This is 28 count mushroom Lugana. And so it's going to be perfect. 28 count mushroom Lugana. It's going to look so great. This is going to be one of my mania starts so that I can stitch this in July, for Christmas in July. So that one's ready. I've had this chart for a long time actually. So I bought it back in the summer last year. But I just now got all the fabric and everything for it. All right, let's see here. And then along with that, I'm also going to be starting, so like I said, I'm going to be starting some of the Brooks. Hang on, let me find. Is it in this one? Right. No, it's in this one. Sorry. I have these 2 green folders with the PDFs that I printed. So I am going to be starting Katie Kitty. She's number 1. Again, I need help. This is Brooks Books Publishing. So this is the number 1. I could do it on Vintage Country Mocha. I could do it on the cream. But I want to be able to see the white. So I'm thinking not the cream. I don't know. It might end up on blue. Unless you guys have any other ideas. I also bought, oops, I can't show that one because it has a pattern on it. All of the called for floss. I'm going to do these in DMCs for Peter Polar Bear. So I have all of the DMCs for him. Katie Kitty, and then I made sure that I had all of the DMCs for Mary Mouse as well. So I could at least start these 3. I don't know, what do you guys think? Ice blue, I could. Hers is on, I think, Babbling Brook. Yeah, Babbling Brook. I don't know, maybe. I'm not so sure I love the blue. I was thinking chalkboard, but then I was afraid that the black pieces, like their eyes and their noses and stuff, wouldn't show up. And then number 4 is a Scotty dog, which would be okay because I could switch him to white because I have a Westie. So I could switch that dog from, instead of being a black Scottish Terrier, to a white Western, would be a West Highland White Terrier, which is also a Scottish dog, but they look the same when they're cut the same way. Like if they have the same haircut, they look the same. But one is white and one is black. So I could do that, but like, I'm not sure. If you've done the Brooks Books Publishing Advent Calendar and you have done it on something different than the called for, let me know what color you chose, because like in the comments, because I would really like to know. Oh, just got a message up over my iPad. Okay, so that's it. So I mentioned in my last video that I will be doing some giveaways. I'm not going to do a giveaway today. I just didn't bring any of those materials upstairs. Basically, I have a ton of crafts, like stitchy supplies. And I'm going to be giving those away in the next couple of weeks. I plan to do a video next week, next Sunday. Hopefully that works out and I will be able to do that and get it uploaded. And that will include that the start of those giveaways. So yeah, I hope everybody has a really great Sunday and a really good week. And I will see you next time. All right? Bye now.